to hit the record button so we can record this. Okay, well, welcome everyone to our March state call. And as usual, we've got a lot to cover tonight. And I think most of you probably heard this, but we got some big news to announce tonight. Rodney Huckleberry is going to be with us again. And I'm going to let Rodney kind of take the lead on that. But we'll take a look here at quickly at our agenda. We'll be going through, our vision statement, mission statement like we normally do. Then I'm going to bring Rodney on, hopefully. I haven't seen him call in yet. I hope he, I just sent him a text. I hope he remembers to do this. But anyway, so we'll bring Rodney on and going to give out a couple more Patriot pins tonight. Then we'll get into grassroots training, our tracking reports. Paul will talk about our legislative activities. Ken Kashuba's got some news for us on the comms team. And then we'll get into some recognizing some people that have been active in self-governance. So let's go ahead and get started here. Like I said, we've got quite a bit to cover tonight. Vision statement, still the same. Build a Hoosier grassroots community of citizens and legislators dedicated to the constitutional concept of self-governance. On my weekly broadcast, I've been showing this, and I've been telling everyone that everything we do in the state, everything ultimately is oriented toward this accomplishing this vision statement. So I think it's important that we keep an eye on this statement and keep this always in the back of our mind. So anyway, that's our vision statement. Our mission statement, these are the things that we're trying to accomplish this year that will help us get closer to realizing that vision that we just talked about. And those are to meet quarterly and present the 34 Ready Plan to all of our targeted legislators. Grow the grassroots to 40,000 petition signers. We had a super month in March. I'll be talking about that. Establish 7 region captains. We got 4 right now. We got to keep moving to get 3 more in place to accomplish that goal. And then as far as our Young Americans for COS, 4 high school chapters. Maya's doing a good job. She won't be with us tonight, but got some pretty good news in that area as well. So that's our mission statement, and I want to see, Rodney, have you made it in yet? Well, don't see Rodney on here yet. I don't know where he is. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip over his items, and we'll come back when he comes on. He may be on another call and maybe going over, so we'll come back to him. But Patriot pins. I want to give away a couple more Patriot pins tonight. If you recall, a Patriot pin is a lapel pin that we give out to recognize someone for some special recognition, someone that's gone more above and beyond, takes on special projects, very responsive, positive attitude, all around good team member, and someone that has contributed a great deal to what we're trying to accomplish here in the state, in Convention of State. So don't know where there's some noise coming in. Just be sure to keep yourself muted unless we're asking you to speak, okay? All right, well, we want to give away a couple more Patriot pins tonight, and those two individuals this evening are going to be John Ackerman and Gary Harbaugh. I had these two come on tonight and be on the call, and they were trying to drill me as to why I wanted them on the call tonight. So there's John. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well.
Thank you. Congratulations on this. John has been. John, you've probably been in Convention of States. I don't know, you maybe have been in longer than I've been in. And I know you've done some different jobs, but you're currently doing the Facebook editor position. So,
yeah.
And Ken Kashuba's on tonight, and I want him. I know he had a few words he wanted to say about you. So, Ken, are you on?
Yeah. Hey, Dale. Thanks.
Yeah,
John. Yeah, I just I know early on when we were just rolling out things like the Facebook, and I know Jerry was doing a lot of that. And when we were putting together the comms team, John was one of those that just stepped up and was flexible and volunteered right away to get involved with Facebook. And I have to say, John, you know, you've done a great job on Facebook. It was one of those things where, you know, I once we got you started on that, I haven't had to do anything there. You just basically took it and ran, and you do a great job of posting there every day. And you know, I think one of the things that I appreciate most is your sense of humor that comes through on your Facebook posts as well. I mean, you put out some interesting and some good information, but I always get a chuckle. So I wanted to just say congratulations and keep us laughing, John.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Appreciate it.
Well, I want to second everything Ken said. You know, when I first started this job as state director, back when David and I started, we didn't have any idea what was on our Facebook page or what was happening with it. And believe me, when John took it over, it really started taking shape. And so you're doing a great job. I want to thank you very much for that, John.
You're welcome. It's fun.
And you're a good representative of Convention of States. Your radio interview, I know you've spoken to groups, so you're really you're a good representative for Convention of States. So, you got anything to say in response to all that?
Well, I really appreciate the recognition. I'll wear the Patriot pin with great honor and with humility, because it's a great organization and I'm glad to represent it.
Good deal. Good deal. Thanks, John. Gary, are you there?
I am here.
There you are. All right, Gary. I've known Gary for quite a while as well in Convention of States, and Gary, I think you came in. You were a district captain first, right?
Yep, I think you recruited me.
And then Paul, I think Paul, you're on here tonight. You might want to say a few words about Gary, but I think when I moved up to region captain, then Paul came on, and then Paul became region captain, and he pointed out to me how Gary was wanting to take on more responsibility. So the opportunity came up. We made him region captain. So Gary's doing a good job for us. Excellent recruiter. I want to point that out. when we need to do recruiting calls for new district captains, I can always depend upon Gary to accept the challenge, and by gosh, you can count on it. He's going to find some people out there, and I don't know how many you've brought in, Gary, but I bet we'd be surprised at how many district captains. Do you have any idea how many you've brought on?
I really don't, Dale.
Yeah. I know it's more than a couple. I know. So,
Yeah,
Paul, you got anything you want to say about Gary?
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to stop talking so I could jump in there.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary, this is well deserved. I've really enjoyed getting to know Gary over the past year or so, and I think he's doing a great job of leading Region 3. I've had the pleasure of a couple of trips down to Indy with Gary, Time to Talk, when we were doing our strategic planning, and also taking some American for Prosperity training together with him. So I was really proud to see Gary as a recipient.
Good deal. Okay, Gary, now it's your turn if you want to say a few words.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It is certainly an honor to be in the company of other folks who won the Patriot Pin, because I know that all the folks who have won are people who are outstanding in the organization, and people who are the backbone in many ways of what we accomplish. So thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm pleased to receive it, and I hope I will continue to merit this honor.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you, John and Gary. Well deserved. All right, let's move on then. Let's get into grassroots. I don't know where George is tonight. I don't see him on the list here. He's probably going to tell me that he was taking a nap and didn't wake up in time. I know he's used that excuse before. But let's get into the grassroots area. We'll talk about training. We'll talk about the new leaders that we have in training, and I think you're going to be very impressed with the list that we have here. Then we'll go over our reports, our districts per region, and our petition growth report. But let's look at new leaders. Now, these are all individuals that have come on as district captain trainees. And one we have here that's going to be a co-district captain. So all these individuals are at different places in the training program. I will say that Victoria Mooring is about to finish the program. I'll be doing the final wrap-up module with her. Hopefully next week we can arrange that. And but the rest of these individuals are all at different stages in the training, and we have three more that are on the LMT, the Leaders Management Tool, that we haven't officially brought on as district captains. We're still in the interviewing process. So we got three more to come on here. And like I said, this is something that we're really getting off to a good start this year in bringing on district captains, and I think we've got a good training program to put these individuals through. So that's kind of where we are with new leaders. Of course, we still need district captains. We still need an event coordinator, coalitions director, veterans coalition coordinator, videographers, media liaisons. So we're still looking for those individuals. So Anybody got any questions to this point in time before we go on? Anybody got anything on their mind? Okay. Okay, let's take a look then at how we look now with regard to the districts per region. We're now, if you remember last month, we were down to something like about 16, 17. We're up to 22 districts now. And you can see in red, those are the districts where we have district captains in place or in training. And like I said, we've got about 3 more that we're going to be bringing on. So we're moving up the total number here like we're trying to do. Now, as you can see down here, our goal, and this is one of our strategic objectives that tie into our mission objective, but we want to try and get 5 district captains in place in each region. And you can see that we still have district captains to go in each region, except for Region 3, Gary's region. They're already in excess of 5. But these numbers have changed since last month. And here we've got regions now where we're now needing 3 and 2 and 3. So this is looking better and better, okay? Region captains, we're still at 4. We're hoping, as you know, we want to try and get up to 7 region captains. Hopefully 9 would be wonderful, but our goal this year is to get to 7. Okay, let's take a look then at our petition growth for the month. Call your attention to this number right down here at the bottom. March petitions, 1,901 petitions signed. Now that's a record for us. That's the biggest month we've ever had. And you can see here by region the new petition signers that we've had come in for the month of March. With here in Region 4, I've highlighted they were the leading region for the month of March, 270, and they've got 591 new petition signers so far year to date through March. With our total state, a little over 4,000 new petition signers March year to date. So we are on track. We are very, very much on track to get the addition to 10,000 additional petition signers we've been trying to look for in 2019, which would take us to the 40,000 total. And I will just recognize the district, outstanding district for the month of March would be District 28, and the DC there is Dallas Halcomb. He had 37 new petition signers for the month. So anyone have any questions on these 2 reports? All right, let me look up here and see if I still don't see Rodney on here yet. So, okay, let's go. Paul, you want to come on and talk
Sure.
about your area, your legislative area?
Yeah, quite honestly, not a whole lot to report. We do still have our targeted legislator list. The session down at the State House is getting to wrap up in about a month. My plan is to make at least 2 more visits between now and I think it's April 29th is when the session ends. And A strategy we've been developing is to try to do some kind of 34 Ready workshop for legislators, perhaps over the summer study session. So in the next couple of visits down there, I want to find a legislator or two who's willing to help us out with that we could get something like that organized. And then finally, we're going to have John give a report, but I don't know, Dale, is John on yet?
I haven't seen him.
If you like, I can read his report. It won't be as exciting as hearing him talk about it. We can hold him till next month.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. John Domka is who we're talking about, and he's on vacation right now in Tennessee. So he didn't know if he was going to be able to come on the call tonight or not. So evidently he wasn't able to get on. So, but go ahead, Paul, and we wanted to. Well, you go ahead and read his. He had an excellent legislator experience, and we wanted to pass this on to everyone. So go ahead, Paul.
Right, and what was pretty neat about this is this was not a meeting that he scheduled. He just attended a town hall event. So here's what he sent to me. I was at the town hall meeting last night, and to my pleasant surprise, not only was Representative Hatcher, House District 3, but Representative Beck from House District 19 and Senator Melton were all in attendance, and each spoke for about 15 minutes. After the meeting, I went and spoke to each of them. Representative Beck and Hatcher are in their first terms, so I gave them each a 34 Ready package since they were not aware of our movement at all. I gave them each a brief summary and left it with I would like to follow up with a meeting to discuss their thoughts on the topic. They both seemed receptive. Then I spoke with Senator Melton and said I knew he voted against the resolution but would like to set an appointment with him to discuss his reasons for voting against it. It was not confrontational, but emphatic, and he seemed generally unaware of what we were about. He actually admitted that he probably voted against it because he was not totally informed. There may be hope. So a real productive meeting. He got a threefer, got to talk to 3 legislators just by showing up to a town hall meeting, and it looks like he's got some commitments for some follow-up meetings.
Cool. Well, like I said, we want to try and recognize these legislative calls and the 34 Ready presentation. So, John sent us that email during the month, and we thought, man, a threefer. We got to talk about this. So, I'm sorry. I wish he could have been on tonight. I'm sure he could have added a little more information to that. But congratulations to him and the good work that he did on that. So, thank you, John. All right. Thanks, Paul. Anything else?
Not at this point. Nope.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's bring on our comms team, Ken Kashuba. Now you can come on back on camera now, Ken, if you want to.
Thanks, Dale. Maybe
I know you like to be on camera, so.
Not always. But when you're on, I like to be on. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. There you go.
I like to be in that box just above you.
You want to talk about the newsletter first?
Sure, let's talk about the newsletter first. You want to pull that up? We've made some great progress here in the last couple of weeks, although it's been like going to the dentist and getting a root canal.
It sure has.
And we finally have a model newsletter out there, which at this moment, Garrett is taking what I've been able to put together as a newsletter, and we are hopefully he's going to be able to get this formatted and put into our folder, our email blast folder, so that all you have to do when you get in here is pull up the template and replace text, replace pictures. It's still not going to be drag and drop, but it's fairly simple to work with once being that you don't have to worry about any of the formatting. It's still coming up a little funny in this email, but for the most part, it's legible, and at this point, it at least is getting done what we needed to get done. We kind of laid it out. Dale was looking to have a district, regional news area, a state news area, and a national news area. So these were a couple of areas that we wanted a model to kind of show what we were trying to do with it. And we were even able to go ahead and put down a link to a video at the bottom, so we can have a monthly video we can add to the newsletter as well, which I think really gives us something that's not only informative but a little bit fun to read and makes it a little bit entertaining as well. So I think we'll be able to keep people's interest with it, and hopefully going forward, I don't know, I don't have a time frame at this point, but I know Garrett was going to go to work on it, try and get the format I've got laid out here, and he was going to get that through to the national, and hopefully we'll get it put into Citizens Builder sometime soon. So
yeah, this is like Ken said, we've been working on this. It seems like for a long time, and I think we're very, very close to getting it done. And this is going to be a template that every district captain will be able to use to communicate with their supporters in their district, and or region captains. It doesn't have to be just district captains, but we're very, very close to having this template nailed down here, and going to really be excited to see this happen. So
I think it even looks better on the mobile. I'm looking at this here. I think it looks even better on a mobile phone. So
does
a lot of people too. I think so. At this point, like I said, I know this is in your email, Dale. So it's
right.
It's showing up. It'll probably show up. Hopefully, it'll show up consistently in all different browsers. But I looked at this over on a mobile, and I think everything was really aligned perfectly. It just I think it looked better in a mobile actually than it does in a desktop email.
But this is what I thought about this, and we want this structure to be in 3 parts basically, where you talk about an event or events happening in your district or your region. Then some state level news to pass on, and then national news. And of course, these are just samples that Ken put together here, just examples. But I think we got a good format here, and so. Hello. Okay. All right. That's it for the newsletter. Ken, you got anything on the YouTube channel then?
On the YouTube channel, the latest news I have on YouTube channel is we now have all of Paul's podcasts listed on its own playlist, Free to Be Free playlist. So you've got all of Paul's podcasts, including his most recent one, which I think was just posted yesterday, Paul. And that's
yes, it was. I think I did it Monday night.
But it's up there now. It's been added to the YouTube channel, and we have all of the podcasts on under its own playlist. So the YouTube channel is expanding, and we're continuing to get some more material on the YouTube channel. So that's going along very well as well.
Okay, well, let me talk. And Rodney, I see you're on here now. When I'm finished with this, talking about COS Indiana Live, then I'm going to come to you. Okay. just a quick update. As you know, we're continuing with our COS Indiana Live broadcast every Monday night at 7 o'clock. Again, I ask you to please share this with your friends on Facebook or wherever you can, and ask them to tune in. As of March 18th, the Monday night broadcast on March 18th, we're reaching, on average, we're reaching 283 people, and we're getting views on average of 107. So that's coming along very well. My goal is to get to 500, but these things take time to build a following. So we're doing our best on this. Our latest broadcast, which was just last Monday, the 25th, we did a discussion on what is a convention of states. And coming up April 1st, which will be our next broadcast, I'm going to be making a presentation on just what is Article 5. So we're focused on the basics here, trying to attract people that perhaps are not part of our organization or want to learn more about Convention of States. So, okay. Rodney, I see you're on now. Am I right?
You are correct, sir. Sorry I'm late.
There you are. Well, I'll tell you, we'll have to. I'll have to hear your excuses at a later time. So, well, Rodney, I was going to have you talk about Utah being the last state that we got tonight, but I think you got some news for us, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. And I can't turn my camera on. It says not detected. I've never had that before, so sorry about that. Yeah, it was. It's funny listening to Mississippi and how they love their government dollars. They get $3 for every dollar that they pay into the federal government, and it's just crazy how they've become, well, most of the country kind of is slaves to the federal government. They've been bought in and due to those federal dollars, and it's just weird. So what happened in Mississippi to start with is there's a lieutenant governor there. His name's Tate Reeves, and he was the one, turns out, that was holding it up last session in there. He was totally against it. And through a lot of effort with the grassroots team in Mississippi, Alan West went there. They did a letter writing campaign to the lieutenant governor, and they filled boxes of letters in his office. The team got to see the boxes, but they, for whatever reason, wouldn't let them take pictures of it. And so they don't have any idea how many actual physical letters were written to him. But there was just a whole campaign on the lieutenant governor there that got it passed. They called the state director and deputy state director into his office one day last week, I guess it was, and had a chat with him. I don't know what that chat was about. And then that day it went to committee, and in Mississippi the committees are really weird. They can be held in a hallway. Their offices are really small, so you can't really pack people into an office, and I guess they generally don't have conference rooms to have them in. So, and they, in both the House and the Senate, they didn't have testimony, and that's the way it works in Mississippi. So it went to the committee and passed that day, and then I think it was the next day it went to the Senate floor and passed there. I don't have the vote count in front of me, but it was a wide margin. And the House, it passed by a wide margin last session in Mississippi, so we didn't figure it was going to be a problem this session once they got over to the House. But you never know with politicians and the opposition the way they work. But it did, and the vote count there was, it passed 69 to 46. I think it was pretty much a party line vote. So, woohoo, state number 15.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah, so we got 16 states in our region if you count New York. So,
yeah.
lots to do. This is awesome. One thing wanted to talk about too was Utah. I won't go into too much detail there. It was
Right. That's old news now. Old news.
Yeah. Well, knowing the regional director there personally and communicating with him, it was pretty certain that Utah was going to pass this session before it got there. But you never know. They had Rob Brown from JBS there to talk in a closed caucus about conventions or the runaway and all the fears that JBS talks about. So there was a lot of opposition in Utah that came out in force, and there were some articles that you may have seen or may not have seen that came out talking about how it was a con and how bad it was they passed it. But yeah, so there was a letter writing campaign going on there, and some of you that might know about Telepatriot played a big part in Arkansas, Utah, and Mississippi as far as getting it passed. We had people calling constituents and doing three-way calls in those states, calling constituents to get their legislator online and tell them to support Convention of States and all that, targeting districts. So there was a big team effort in both of those states that got them passed. For sure.
Well, Rodney, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Now, obviously, this map doesn't have Mississippi. That's green now. But this was the latest map that we had up until today. What do you think we're going to get? How many more do you think we're going to get this year?
Okay, yeah, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, it's still in play in Kansas. They passed it in a House committee there 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks ago they had a hearing, and then last week it passed in committee, I think it was. So Kansas is still in play. Nebraska would be. I can't remember. I think it's Kansas that needs a 2/3 majority vote. No, that doesn't sound right. So let's go back to Nebraska. So Kansas, they still need a House floor vote there, and I don't remember when their session ends. So Nebraska, I think they're unicameral, and I think that's the one that requires a 2/3 majority vote to pass anything there. So it's a really high bar to pass. They've got a lot of opposition there. It was still hopeful, and they're still working it there. But for those of you that have heard about the massive floods in Nebraska, that's kind of overwhelmed the legislature in trying to figure out disaster relief and stuff. So that's all. It's all the legislators focused on now. Okay. So I'd say the next one up is North Carolina, and there is some movement in North Carolina. They got it assigned to a committee, so now we're waiting on a date for a hearing in the committee there, and they've made a lot of progress there. So it's possible it could pass there this year. They still have some opposition in the legislature they need to overturn, but we've been able to do that in Utah, but more in Mississippi to get that overturned. So it's very likely it could pass in North Carolina.
Cool.
South Carolina, I can't say for certain, but the election last year, I heard had gotten rid of one of the key people in the legislature that was holding up the resolution in South Carolina. So it's possible that it'll pass there. So I'd say those two. South Dakota's dead. Iowa's still in play, but not looking real good right now. But they're still working it. It's another one. We've got the votes in Iowa and North Carolina, and I believe South Carolina too. But it's just a matter of just one or two legislators, and that was the problem we had last year. Was one or two legislators holding it up for the whole state.
Yeah.
And that was the problem with Arizona till it passed. They had one legislator held it up there.
Yeah. Okay. How's the Shapiro promotion coming along?
Yeah, so George, if he's the only one still working the Shapiro stuff in Indiana, might have gotten hit today, I think it was, or yesterday. Ben Shapiro did we're gone to weekly promotions instead of 2 or 3 a week, and apparently it was the best read of the promotion that he's done so far on his show, and there was a big number of people that popped in, and some of another RD states. I haven't looked at ours yet for that. As far as it's coming along, we've gone to 1 promotion a week, and then after today, there's only 1 more left for what we've signed up for so far. I don't know if they're going to continue that. A lot of it's going to depend on whether the numbers are dropping of the ones coming in from Ben Shapiro signing up on Convention of States, because at some point you kind of want to cut it off and pause. I kind of believe they need to take 3 or 4 months off or so, wait for some new listeners to Ben Shapiro, and then hit it again for like once a week for 4 weeks in a few months. I think would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
But overall, here's some numbers for you. This came from March 24th. And if for anybody that's on Fred Urick's calls for the follow-up tool things, if you happen to join those. So follow-up tool members we have assigned nationally are 294. We got 6 follow-up tool leaders. Follow-up tool members in process, 19, I'll get past that. Okay. Follow-up tool supporters waiting for contact is 2,766 as of the 24th. That's in all states. Follow-up tool supporters in progress is 4,818, and these sound like high numbers, but you get down here, you get down to the number of supporters that have been completed is 28,066.
Wow.
So that's the number been completed, and then you've got those other 2 numbers that are still in the follow-up tool nationally. And you're talking, what, about 40,000 people that have come in from the Ben Shapiro show.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot
really
of
impressive.
Yeah, the key to a lot of those, what states have been doing is talking to those, even the ones that didn't check the volunteer because they didn't know to or whatever. They've been talking to those, and a lot of states have recruited some really good people into roles on the state teams. I've seen a lot of great content writers.
We picked up some. We have. You weren't here when we went over that, but we've got quite a few district captain trainees from this promotion. So it's certainly been helping us out.
Cool. Patty Meckler would like, I haven't gotten this out on all the state Slacks yet, but Patty Meckler would like some quotes from those people, the young people particularly, because not all the people coming from Ben Shapiro Show are young people.
Yeah.
But she would like some quotes from people that have been assigned to roles in on state teams, why they joined, how they joined, and things like that. And one of the reasons is because she wants to share that with donors, because as with the donors that support Convention of States and want to help save this country, as with all of us, we have a concern for the young people in the country that have been indoctrinated and brainwashed by the liberal ideology in the schools these days. And we want to show that there are some out there that are well educated on the Constitution, and they know our country's in trouble.
Well, Rodney, you can tell Patty that they're not all young. I had a 60-year-old talk to a 60-year-old district captain applicant that came in from Ben Shapiro. So
cool. I've heard stories like that. 75 to 50, yeah. I
Okay.
I had time, but I don't have time.
All right. Anything else, Rod?
Just make sure you're getting on Convention of States University and looking at the courses that apply to your roles. And I'd advise also looking at all the other courses that are on there. All of our educational, especially the opposition course and legal and all those. Just take them all. Make sure you hit the button that's like at the bottom right of the course that says you completed it when you're done with it. Jenny and Monica are doing an update, 2019 update to the manuals for the roles, for state roles. So those things are coming out. That's about it.
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming on tonight. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, let's move on here. Young Americans for COS, Maya can't be with us tonight, but I know she's working hard. Paul, I don't know if you've got any other information on this, but she wanted me to mention to everyone that she's made connections with this group called Teenage Republicans.
Yeah, that's correct. So, and this is, I've been trying to count, this is the fifth group that she's reached out to, and she's finally made a connection. It's a brand new group that go by the acronym of TAR, T-A-R, Teenage Republicans, and they meet at GOP headquarters. So she attended their second meeting and is starting to make some connections there, and we'll be trying to get on their schedule to do a COS presentation at one of the meetings.
Cool.
It kind of affirmed what she's been seeing getting into high schools being difficult. She learned that the Teenage Republicans group tried to start just at Bishop Dwenger High School, which is a private school here in Fort Wayne, and they weren't allowed to start a group there because it was political in nature. So not just the public schools, but private schools are shying away from the organization.
So this group, Teenage Republicans, are they high school students or college students or a mixture of?
High school students, all around 15, 16, 17 years old.
Really? Cool. Well, great. Okay, well, hopefully she'll have some success there, and so we'll be looking forward to hearing from her next month.
Great.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Okay, well, I want to recognize a couple people here. Ed Paraguay, are you on? I saw you earlier. Hopefully you're on tonight still, Ed.
Hello, Dale.
Hello. There, you can get. Oh, you were on camera there for a minute.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you can't hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Well, it seems like when you're on camera, I can't hear you. When you're not on camera, I can hear you.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
Well, I'd rather hear you than just see you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure what went wrong there. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, can you see the screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen fine.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let Ed talk about this, but Ed and others from Region 3, and Gary, you probably have some input on this, but they had an information table again at the Fort Wayne Gun and Knife Show here recently, and they had tremendous success. So here on the left-hand side, you see that's Ed on the right, and Victoria Mooring, the district captain in District 50, on the left there. So, Ed, you want to talk about how things went for you?
Yes, we had a good weekend for the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, March 9th and 10th. We had 255 petitions, and all but about 10 of those, maybe 12, are good. What I learned in going through them, I'm starting to put them in the spreadsheet so they can be entered into the database. But we had some that were incomplete to the point where I don't know who they are. These were largely from Saturday afternoon, and what I've told people, and I guess I should have spent a little more time with Lowell. You got to stand there and watch people fill these out. Some of the problem petitions had a street address, but no city, state, or zip code. And out of all of the 255, there were, I think, 10. I got to go back and do a count, but I think there were 10 from out of state, and all 10 were from states that have not passed a resolution. So these were very important in my opinion, and sadly some of these were the ones with problems. There wasn't enough information that I can contact the person and get the street address and zip code or whatever it is that's missing.
Okay.
So otherwise we did very well. That's let me think, about 4 or 5 times what we did in October, and more than double what we did in January.
Well,
I was going to say the people that helped were Lowell and George were there all day Saturday with me. Vicki was there on Sunday. Gary Harbaugh, I was thinking, was there part of both days. And Paul and Maya Phillips joined us for a while. And as I recall, maybe you were present when they were there. Anyway, it was a good turnout. I think, I don't have this number in front of me either. I think the gate was something like 3,500 people for the 2 days. The promoter claims he doesn't keep track, but Gary went up and talked to the people at the ticket office and figured it out from those numbers. So
okay.
All in all, it was a very successful show.
Yeah, I wanted to, I did inquire and as whether this was a record for the company, for the whole organization, and come to find out that they don't really keep track. But Rodney seemed to think that there was maybe another table from somewhere that did 300, but we are probably a solid second place.
Okay, well, I plan to, once I get the rest of these in the data into the spreadsheet so they can be put in the database, I want to start working on the Allen County Fair. And I know Vicki is working on the Huntington County Fair, which comes first. That's in July, and Allen County's is in August. I'd like to find out what it's going to take to do that, and probably most importantly, how much money, so we can give the national organization a proper heads up. At this point, I don't have a plan to do the May gun and knife show. I'm not sure, unless we get some more help, whether it's worth spending the effort. I'm sure once warm weather gets here, the attendance on that show is going to be down. We have been told in the past that the best show in terms of attendance is usually the March show. So
okay, all right.
The stuff is all available if someone wants to take care of that. But I'm now that we've got warm weather and long days, I have to use my time carefully.
Okay. All right. I did want to. Now I've got another picture here showing, and I wanted to point out this young man here in the blue shirt. That is Lowell Foster, and he's got a nickname now as the Petition Machine. Lowell evidently played a significant role, am I right, Ed, in getting people to sign our petition. And
no question. He, if they weren't walking down our side of the aisle, he went across the aisle and stood in front of them until they at least acknowledged him. And if they didn't sign, they went away with a piece of paper.
Well, I wanted to thank Lowell. I wanted to recognize him for what he did. I was hoping he would be on the call tonight, but apparently I don't see him on the list. So I want to recognize Lowell for his work and thank him for what he did. Now, the next thing I wanted to mention to everyone is, if you'll notice behind the information table, there are two banners back there, and the lower banner, that was provided to us by National. We only had 2 of those in the state, and I know I've had some other district captains express an interest in doing information tables at fairs and such coming up in their area. And of course, I think Larry Wee Wee in District 68, I believe it is, Larry. I know he did one last summer. So we only had 2 banners. So I put the word out, and we got an anonymous donor that has purchased 7 additional banners for us, so that we now have, this banner is a little different than that one, that the other 2 that we have, but serves the same purpose. So we now have a banner for each region. And I want to thank this anonymous donor very much for purchasing these for us. So we'll be able to provide some banners to everyone this coming season for information tables coming up. So that's it for tonight. Let's go quickly around the horn here and see if anyone has got any comments or questions they would like to say. Victoria, are you on here? Victoria Morning, I see you're on. You just muted yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
There you are. You got anything you want to say?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for working there with Ed on the gun show. That's thank you for working that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a learning curve for me.
Okay. All right. Gary Harbaugh, you got anything?
I want to say thank you to all the folks who work the gun show. And as you prepare for fairs and stuff in the coming months, I would encourage you to make sure you got 3 or 4 people there at least to work the booth, because the more people you have, the more people you can talk to. And that was part of the reason we got a couple hundred signatures, is because we had multiple people there most of the time to interact with the showgoers.
All right. All right. Thanks, Gary. Larry Wee Wee.
No new news here. Just really excited to see that we picked up so many states here at the end as this legislative session tails down.
Yeah. All right. Paul, you got anything more?
Nothing else to share.
Okay. I don't know who this is. Just show the phone number here, 336-8263. Who is this? Okay. Clint, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Clint. Well, I see we have Diane Gomez on with us tonight. Diane?
Hi, Dale and everybody. Thanks so much for your hard work. And it's just, oh gosh, it just feels so good tonight when a state passes. I was watching the broadcast for a little while. It was just a knockdown, drag-out fight, but we won. The grassroots won. And I'm really interested in hearing about the people who have signed up from the Ben Shapiro show as they get trained and hearing their stories. In the development department, that's what we do, is raise funds so that we can broadcast and promote on those shows. So it's so important that we can bring that back, the stories back to our donors, because then they will donate more and we can keep doing it. So I'm really interested in hearing about those people and why they joined and what they end up doing. Very, very powerful stories. So, so thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks. Okay, Jerry, you got anything? Jerry Rowe? Unmute yourself.
There, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I do have one thing that I have not forewarned you about, which came through email. Sharon Carell, you know that name?
Yes.
She is asking for a volunteer, which wouldn't take much time, for one or maybe two prayer items for the Indiana State COS effort to be submitted to them on the National Prayer Group Facebook page and such like that. So if someone would be interested in taking that on just once a month, that'd be good.
All right. All right. Okay. Thanks, Gary. Or, excuse me. Okay. John, you got anything more? Don Ackerman, you still on? Need to unmute yourself. All right. Ken, you got anything else?
Nothing else except congrats again to John and Gary for their recognition tonight. That's all I got.
All right. Thomas.
Oh, yes. I got a couple things.
I just figured you might, yes.
Well, I'm going to go back in February when you told us to send out that email blast about volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 3 responses.
Good.
One said it doesn't want to do anything. Another one said just stop. I guess don't send them anything. And another one just wants to know, what more do you want me to do? We've already passed. And then all of a sudden, I get this flash across my mind that says, grassroots. I said, I'm still working on the reply to him.
Yeah.
They're down in District 71, and I just thought, I just need a district captain down there, and then they can try to influence that state south of us. Oh, did I say that? Okay.
Well, it so happens we have a district captain in training for District 71.
Oh, did I? Is that right? Oh, gee whiz. I should have known that because I got the list in front of me.
Well, he's in training, so he's not ready to hit the bricks yet. So that'll be a good one for him to follow up on.
Second thing is that a district captain trainee will start training, I believe Tuesday, George says, for District 56.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have him. I haven't counted him as yet.
It's Jason Frank.
Jason Frank. I know that name. So that's another one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
All right.
Okay, everyone. That's it for tonight. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Our next call for the month of April will be on April 24th, 8 p.m. So keep up the good work, and who knows, by the next call we may have number 16 and 17 in place by then as far as states are concerned. So anyway, thanks everyone. Have a good night. See ya.
Night.